Let's get into Trump's other big deal. So he goes from Rogan on Friday to doing other normal, huge, big-ass MAGA rallies, and then does a ginormous MAGA rally at Madison Square Garden. And this is what the scene looked like. You can just kind of see it's just some audio from inside the arena. But look at how packed this thing is. So, raucous crowd, packed to the brims inside. Reports of anywhere from 70 to 75,000 people in overflow outside of the arena. I don't know if those numbers are true or not. I know from seeing images that it was a lot of people. That's what's been suggested. Point being, there was a lot of fanfare there. A lot of excitement in New York City, in a very, a liberal haven. And Trump's blowing the roof off the place. And we could play. There were so many people who spoke before. Hulk Hogan again, Dana White, Haba.
Tulsi,
RFK, Tulsi. Yeah, the list goes on
Tucker.
and on. Yeah, Tucker. And then Trump spoke. So this thing went on for a long time, and you've probably seen clips. A lot of you probably watched the whole damn thing. That's great. I think we should at least take a moment, though, and talk about the elephant in the room. So Tony Hinchcliffe, someone that Tom and I both think is really funny. Kill Tony is massive. Huge deal. Kill Tony, Joe Rogan, and by the way, both friends, both massive in their own genres or areas. And it's important to remind everyone, particularly those on the left, that Tony Hinchcliffe is a comedian. That's what he does for a living. That's his job. But everyone's up in arms, particularly people on the left, calling this a racist event, taking a comedian's words and comments from a stand-up comedy act at a rally and making it seem as though it is the overall sense and vision and talking points of the rally itself, when he's just a comedian doing a bit, and really the point of the whole thing was not even to have comedy. I think it's to throw, yes, there's someone who's there to kind of help warm up the crowd, but two, it's to show that, hey, some of these people from the entertainment industry are sacking up and saying, I'm voting for this guy, and you should too. And just the fact that some of these people are making appearances and saying things in public now shows a huge tectonic shift in what's happening culturally and politically in this country. But they all lose their mind, and particularly about the island of floating trash, also known as Puerto Rico, comment that he made. I literally, and here's what I love about this. It's a double-edged sword, right? The left's losing their mind. There's some conservatives like, you shouldn't have made that joke. It's a joke. Stop it. I heard Puerto Ricans interviewed after the event who were like, we're not offended. I'm sure some are, and that's cute, but no one cares because you're not fun to be around because you get offended so easily. But you have the left flipping out about this, and some people on the right. But I just thought the whole thing was awesome, and what it tells me is, okay, we've got to deal now with this fallout and push back and remind people on the left who are arguing or complaining about this, you're dumb. Okay, so we got to have these stupid conversations. And I would argue don't have those conversations. There's literally no possible good outcome from arguing with a liberal on social media. But you do that. You do that, which we're not getting into that. But you do that, and then the flip side is, the good news is we've seen this resurgence. We talk about it on the show all the time. We've seen this resurgence of comedy, and I think it's great that you're now at the point where people are saying what they think. They're pushing the envelope again because, well, I think you should be able to do it anywhere, particularly in comedy, you should be able to do it. And we're at the point now where Tony Hinchcliffe, who goes hard to the hoop, and he's at one of these events talking to massive crowds who are not just there, but massive audiences on every channel was playing this. There's at least at parts of it, every channel was playing this. So I think it's great that we've got this going again. Now, is he going to ever be on game day or at a rally again? I don't know that he will, but I think it's great that we're at the point where it's okay to try it.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think, you see other politicians trying to distance themselves from, like I said before, the Republicans may be seen as outlaws, but there are a lot of normies still in the Republican Party, and you have normies like Alberto Salazar or whatever her name is, the representative from the Miami area, and also Rick Scott trying to distance themselves from him and releasing a statement denouncing what he said or whatever. Again, normies just aren't built to be outlaws, and those are two good examples there. Over the summer, Tony Hinchcliffe brought Kill Tony to Madison Square Garden and sold it out. So he's got a tremendous following.
Yeah.
And when you watch Kill Tony, you know exactly what you're getting. And you also know that Tony, like you're saying, goes hard to the hoop. Yeah. That's what a comic is supposed to do. A stand-up comic is supposed to push the limits of free speech. And sometimes when they do, it gets a little messy. But that doesn't impugn an entire movement or impugn him. He's just pushing it to the limit. And, sometimes jokes land, sometimes they joke, sometimes they do. But at the end of the day, the bottom line is he made an attempt at a joke. It may have fallen flat. Some people may have thought it was funny. Some people may have just not given a shit about it like I did. I didn't care about it. I just thought it was a throwaway line. It wasn't one of my favorite things that he was talking about. Because the thing that I took away from what Tony said, he said, in my lifetime, we have somebody running for president who didn't get us into a new war. And to me, that's what resonated with everything that Tony had to say.
Yeah. Well, and he said some, obviously lots of bits in there, but then also lots of just, here's how I, Tony Hinchcliffe, feel about this guy and about this election and about the current state of our country. And those were powerful. Look, that's a hard freaking audience for a comic, because conservatives are typically not very fun. So you've got an arena packed full of them. I'm watching, listening to the laughter, and some of them are just eerily quiet. It's like, that sucks, because some of what he's saying is funny. No, I didn't laugh at everything he said. That's the deal with all comics. That bit hit really hard. This other one, take it or leave it. But that's a rough audience to be a comedian. And he came out afterwards and said this. He put a tweet out because everyone, of course, is slamming him, and he's not going to care. This is what he does for a living. But he said, these people have no sense of humor. Wild that a vice presidential candidate would take time out of his busy schedule to analyze a joke taken out of context to make it seem racist. I love Puerto Rico, and I vacationed there. I made fun of everyone, watched the whole set. I'm a comedian, Tim. Might be time to change your tampon. Talking about Tim Walz, because as this whole thing is going on, a great response by Hinchcliffe, and great response not just for Tim Walz, but for any conservatives who are like, I don't know if that was right or if that was okay. Shut up. It was fine. It's okay. You don't have to laugh at it, but it's okay.